Okay, good evening, Wednesday group. As promised, I am recording this and I will be, be doing this presentation for you because I wasn't able to attend to our session this afternoon because all master teachers were required to attend an orientation and I I need to be in the orientation. So as I told you in the chat room that I will be recording this lesson and will be sending this to you this evening, and then I will uh, I will instruct you through this video lesson. Okay, so um, last our previous meeting we discussed about anthropology, which is the study of human the study of human behavior, and then lesson two, which I uploaded the other day, is about sociology, the study of society. So the third um, component of our subject, understanding social society and politics, is about politics. So in this lesson, we will tackle about political science. So students like you may find the concept of politics boring, no? But to tell you, if the thoughts of politics makes you cringe, then think again of the possible consequences if you will not understand what you are capable of as a citizen of this country. We have this power to elect a good and bad leader, and our future may depend on this leaders that we are electing. So for now, you may be thinking that you don't have a say on the different political issues around you, but in 2 years' time or in a year, you can vote. Your vote will be casted, and it will be somehow affect every single aspect of our society. So today, tonight, or in whatever time you will be watching this video, you will be acquainted with the essential concepts of politics in our country. You will also be engaged in understanding the structures and process of Philippine politics. And most especially, you will be guided to uphold your rights in practicing your responsibilities to become active participants in nation building. Okay, so political science. We will define political science, its goals, and its perspective. So, the objective for this lesson is for you to be able to articulate the nature of political science, its goals, and perspective. So, are you now ready to dig in? Okay, so before we dig deeper into this topic, uh, there are some there are some unfamiliar words that you will encounter or we will encounter, and let us try to define these terms. So this is some additional words in our vocabulary builder. So the first word is political science. When we say political science, this is the branch of social science that deals with systems of government and the analysis of political activities and behavior. So isa siyang social science, actually branch of social science. So it looks into the systems of our government and then the political activities and behavior, all the behavior, the movement of politics in our uh, society. Our next word here is power, political ideologies, political issues, and government. So let's now define this for now, and later we will look into it uh, deeper as we go through with the lesson. So the second word that we have here is power. This is the embodiment of the symbols whose meanings influence, control, and shape the behavior of the members of the society. So if if you have this power, uh, you can somehow influence, control, and probably you can shape the behavior of the society. So this is a very strong word no power. Our next word is political ideology. Ah, ito yung mga set of beliefs and doctrines that serve as the guide in political, economic, and social action of state. Parang siya yung standard na doon tayo magbe-base ng mga dapat nating gawin. So, kung member ka ng isang society, ito yung political ideologies na kailangan mo sundin. So later, we will discuss more about that ideologies, no? And then, our fourth word is political, fourth terms is political issues. Pag sinabi naman natin political issues, sila yung mga topic, mga controversies that that the members of the society are debating over time, na inclusive of divisive topics. Ito yung mga pinag-uusapan natin. Nagkakaroon tayo ng debate about this. So this is political issues. Later, we will have some examples on that. And our last word in this vocabulary builder is government. When we speak of government, this is an institution. It's an institution that is being run by the state and ang kanyang responsibility is to deliver kung ano yung kailangan ng mga tao dun sa society. Delivering the needs of the citizens. Okay, so these are the terms, important terms that we need to define. Okay, okay, so we have this three tests. So you can get a pen and paper and then do this pre-test. It's okay if you get a score of 0 because pre-test it will just see if you know something about the topic. So for this one, uh, there are 10 statements here, and you will state whether you agree or disagree with the statement. Okay, the first statement is politics emanates from the Latin word politica, meaning the affairs of the city. You can pause the video if you want to answer. Pwede siyang i-pause muna. Number two is politics is both an art and science of government encompassing the administration and control of its internal and external affairs. Number three, public policy discussions fall under semi-formal politics. Number four, formal politics is also known as everyday politics. Political science as a field of discipline is under the umbrella organization of natural science. Number six, the barangay is the basic unit of the society. Number seven, issues like abortion, free trade, and war on drugs are examples of political institutions. Number eight, monarchy is an example of political ideology. Number nine, the traditional historical approach are concerned in the observable world. That's the normative world in understanding science. And last is that governance and government have the same meaning. So you can pause the video and then answer uh, this pre-test by stating if you agree or disagree with the statement. Okay, so you are probably done. Let's try to check if you got this correct. If you are perfect, then very good. You can stop the video right here and then you can move to the next lesson. And but if not, just continue watching and we will learn why why you should agree and why you should disagree. Okay, for number one, the answer is agree. So that statement is true. Number two, agree. Number three, disagree. Number four, disagree. Number five, disagree. Number six, disagree. Number seven, disagree. Number eight, agree. Number nine, disagree. Number 10, disagree. So it's okay if you did not get a perfect score since this is just a free test. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Let's now formally define politics. So in Aristotle's Politics, he emphasized that man by nature is a political animal. Parang sinasabi niya that man is sociable in nature. It is in our nature na, na we usually come together to form political association. Are you familiar with the story in the Bible wherein the people try to form a group, and then when they form the group, sabi nila, uh, parang gumawa sila ng isang building, ng isang tower, and then what happens to them is that um, uh, God punished them by destroying the tower and scattered them. So the right word is scattered them all over the world so that they won't be able to understand each other. Sabi nila, that is the reason why we human speak different languages. So that is the story from the Tower of the Tower ni Babel, if you are familiar with that. Because uh, it is in the nature of man that we long for companionship. Naghahanap tayo ng mga kasama, naghahanap tayo ng grupo kung saan tayo maaaring maka, mapabilang. And then what happens kapag meron na tayong grupong kinabibilangan? Once we started to build a group, a circle of friends, kapag meron na tayong mga kagrupo, may tumanggap na sa atin bilang grupo ng isang, bilang parte ng isang grupo, what happens? Di ba we start making our rules. Di ba? We start marking our boundaries. Likewise, in our government, we have several institutions, we have departments, we have we have associations, and these are all governed by law. And these are all being led by a leader. So the branch of social science that is responsible in the study of the activities of the government and institutions in determining who gets what and how is called political science. Sabi, politics emanates from the Greek word politika. So sa pretest natin kanina, dapat agree ang sagutin nyo doon that politics emanates from the Greek word politika, meaning the affairs of the city. Pag sinabi natin affairs, ito yung mga pangyayari, mga galawan, kung ano yung mga mga transaksyon sa loob ng society na. So it is basically the study or practice of the distribution of power. Kanina we define what power is. So distribution of power and resources within a given community. Yung ating mga mayors in our town, meron silang power. Pero sabi nga, di ba ni Superman, with great power comes great responsibility. They have this power, but they have this responsibility. Okay? So in the political spectrum, politics is both an art and science of government, in a sense that art because we are every member of the society, every person in that society, they have different needs. They have different uh, I have different needs, you have different needs, your mother may have different needs, our principal may have different needs, every person. So catering, uh, thinking of solutions that can cater these different needs actually requires the government to articulate on how they can address these needs. Science in a way that there must be a sound step by step uh, that should be followed. Okay, so that is why we said that politics is both an art and science. Okay, moving on to the next slide, we have three forms of politics. So our first form is formal politics. When we say formal politics, this is the structured and defined operation of a constitutional framework, institutions, and methods. So ang example nito is the public policy discussion. That is an example of formal politics. Yung yung sa state natin, from the president, down to the vice president, to the mayor, to the barangay council. So, this is formal politics, yung structured and defined operation of a constitutional framework or institutions and methods. Our next form is semi-formal politics. On the other hand, it includes neighborhood associations and student governments. Ayan, this is example of semi-formal, where political party exists. And lastly, our last form is the informal politics, which is also known as the everyday politics. It affects the everyday lives of man, like how the household or office is managed and how a person impacts one another. So pag sinabi natin informal, parang example nito is like yung rule ni mama mo sa bahay niyo, di ba? 'Di ba sabi, bawal kang magpagabi, 10 PM nandiyan ka na sa bahay niyo. That is informal politics. Ano yung mga rules na sinusunod niyo? Like, for example, for this day, ang maghuhugas ng pinggan ay ikaw. Pagka, pagka umaga, ikaw yung ganito, ikaw yung... So, these are informal politics. This is the everyday politics of our life. Like in the office, ano yung rules sa office? Bawal malilate, papasok ng ganito, matatapos ng ganito. Merong mga rules na sinusunod. Merong standard. So, that is the everyday politics. Political science as a field of discipline is the most dynamic among all the disciplines of social sciences. That is because the topics involved in its framework of the study from a basic social unit of the society, a new basic unit of the society, social unit of the society, that is the family. Kanina sa Pretest natin sabi, the basic social unit of the society is the barangay, but it is actually the family. So sabi, from the basic social unit of the society, which is the family, to the complex body of politics, which is the state. Okay, moving on to the next slide, we have the different components of politics. Yan, dito na siya. Yung political institutions. Kanina, dinefine natin what political institutions is or are. So this comprises the state, government agencies, political systems, the functions of political beings or individuals within the institution like Department of Education, Department of Health, Department of Agriculture. These are political institutions. Our next component is political ideologies. Kanina dinefine natin what political ideologies are. So this refers to the set of beliefs, mga paniniwala, mga doktrina that serve as the guide, in the political, economic, and social action of the state. Halimbawa nito ay yung democracy. So, sabi nila, what we have now is a democratic country. Monarchy, pag sinabi natin monarchy, ito yung may mga royalties, may mga kings, may mga queens. Yan. So, another ideology example here is dictatorship. Kailan ba tayo nagkaroon ng dictatorship in our country? Next is political parties. When we say political parties, these are groups of certain individuals who aspire to occupy a public office. Do you know a political party which is running for a position now? We have this, ang probinsyano, yung mga nakikita nyo dyan na nakakabit ng mga tarpaulin, ang probinsyano party list, ano pa, um, ako Bicol party list. So those are examples of political parties. And our last component here is political issues. When we say political issues, these are governmental and societal controversies debated over time. Sabi ko kanina, yung mga pinag-aawayan natin, no? Kung pinag-debatihan natin, like abortion. Should abortion be legal or illegal? Di ba pinag-debatihan natin yun? So, dapat ba siyang illegal o illegal? Divorce. Yan, that is example of a political issue. Taxation, foreign policy, free trade. So these are political issues. So I hope that you you understand these components because these are very important. This is actually what comprises a, a politics. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Okay, so There are characteristics of good governance para masabi natin that an institution or the political system or the government, the governing body, that certain organization or institution are having this good governance, dapat meron sila nitong mga characteristics. Yan. Number one is participation. Sabi dito, all men and women and all individuals, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, and gender preferences, should have a voice in decision making, either directly or through legitimate intermediate institutions that represent their interests. Dapat wala siyang discrimination. Dapat everybody can participate. Okay, another indicator of a good governance is the rule of law. Legal framework should be fair. Dapat fair. Dapat mag-i-enforce ng impartiality, dapat impartial. Lalo na pagdating sa laws on human rights. Okay? Another characteristic of good governance is transparency. The information are directly accessible to those concerned with them. Also, enough information or data should be provided for easy understanding of their transactions. Dapat pag pag may titingnan na record, like yung budget dun sa agency ninyo or sa company or sa organization, dapat accessible siya sa mga member ng group na yan, member ng society, o member ng organization para masabi natin that the leaders, that na meron sila nitong good governance. Okay, another is responsiveness. Pag sinabi naman nating responsiveness, institutions should serve all stakeholders from all walks of life, but they must consider the welfare of the majority. So, dapat i-cater nila kahit mahirap, mayaman, middle-income earners, so dapat nakikita lahat yun, no? But, they must consider the welfare of the majority. Kung hindi naman siya makakasira sa benefits ng iba, why not, di ba? Next is consensus orientation. Pag sinabi natin consensus orientation, good governance mediate differing interests to reach a broad consensus. Di ba? We, the member of, every member of a group or an organization, meron tayong iba't ibang gusto. So, good governance, dapat nandiyan siya para mag-mediate, para magkaroon ng consensus, para magkaroon ng isang bagay na pag-aagrihan ng lahat. Okay, next is equity. When we say equity, the law is based not only in printed words, but it also has the will to promote social justice for all. Pag sinabi natin equity, I know this has become very popular in social media. Have you seen the picture of three men, yung isa matangkad, yung isa tama lang, yung isa is mababa, and then may pinapanood sila sa kabilang bakod. Tapos yung isa, hindi niya napapanood kasi mababa siya. Yung isa, nakikita niya pero kailangan niyang iangat ng konti ang paa niya. At yung isa, nakikita niya talaga kasi mataas siya. Ang nakalagay dun sa picture, pag binigyan daw natin sila ng tig-isang block para mapatungan ng kanilang paa, para mapanood nila yung pinapanood nila, tig-iisang block, that is called equality. Pero kapag kayong maliit, bibigyan natin ng 2 block, yung katamtaman yung laki, bibigyan natin ng isa, at yung mataas hindi na natin bibigyan. That is equity. Next indicator is accountability. Pag sinabi natin accountability, this is a constitutional mandate that a public office is a public trust. Decision makers in the government are accountable to the public. Parang dapat they can own up to their mistakes. Kaya nilang panindigan yung consequences of their action. Accountable. And our last indicator that is also very important is the strategic vision. Leaders and the citizens should have a broad and long-term perspective on good governance and human development to see what the country needs and for them to meet the needs of its citizens. What happens kapag hindi strategic vision? Walang strategic vision ng ating mga leaders. It affects us. Puro short-term na solution ang mga ginagawa. Anong nangyayari? 'Di ba? Ayan. So, let's move to the next slide, the goals in studying political science. Why do you need to study this? I know I've already mentioned this before during our first meeting, but let's again, uh, let's be refreshed by this uh, words in the boxes. Number one is for you to be able to demonstrate an understanding of the concepts and principles of political science, deepens your knowledge and understanding in the field of government and politics. Political science trains students to develop critical thinking skills. So, huwag masyadong magpapaniwala sa mga fake news na nakikita, no? You have to dig deeper, do your own research. Helps students to obtain practical knowledge and insights on political issues and helps the students understand why people behave the way they do politically. Bakit may mga taong ganun when it comes to politics? Okay, so here are now the different political, approaches or perspectives in political science. If you can still remember, we also have this with anthropology, culture and anthropology, sociology, di ba? Sa sociology, we have three perspectives. Kung paano tinitingnan ng sociologist, kung pag-aaralan niya yung society, we have the functionalism, we have the symbolic, we have the structural, functional perspective theory. Okay, so dito naman sa political science, we also have three. The first one is the traditional or historical approach. Ito yung political scientists or experts, they make use of history to study the chronology and the historical development of government structures and institutions. Parang sabi nila, parang yung ano nila is pinag-aaralan nila yung nakaraan para maintindihan nila kung ano yung nangyayari sa present at kung ano yung pwedeng mangyari sa future. Parang sa relationship, 'di ba? Before you 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 have this kind of relationship, 'di ba? What you need to do is dapat you need to understand din yung past ng magiging partner mo, 'di ba? And then pati sa tao, we cannot easily judge someone if we don't know the history. May nakita kang tumatawa diyan sa labas, tumatawa, umiiyak, and then sasabihan mo na siya na buang-buang without knowing that meron siyang pinagdadaanan kaya siguro ganun siya, 'di ba? So, ganito yung approach na ginagawa ng mga political scientists na ang ginagamit ay traditional or historical approach. Inaalam nila yung history ng nakaraan para maintindihan nila kung bakit nangyayari ang kasalukuyan. Okay? Sa scientific behavioralist approach naman, they are concerned mostly with the empirical theory, which deals with the observable world rather than the normative theory, which involves value judgment. Dito, yung mga behavioralists, they are concerned with the process taking place in political structures. Ano yung process? Kanina, sa traditional or historical approach, yung history, yung nakaraan. Dito naman sa scientific or behavioralist, ang proseso. Paano ba nangyayari? Halimbawa, paano ba nangyayari? Paano ba tumatakbo yung isang institution? Doon sila nagfo-focus. Okay? Our next approach here is structural functional approach. Ito naman sa function. No? It highlights the importance of the different structures or branches of the government and the execution of their functions. Paano ini-execute? No? Kanina yung sa process, paano ginagawa? Dito naman, paano naman siya ini-execute? Paano siya ini-implement? In order to ensure the stability of the political system. Sa una, yung history, tinitingnan nila yung nakaraan. Sa pangalawa, tinitingnan nila yung process Sa pangatlo, yung functions. Okay, yung executions of the functions. And then yung pang-apat natin, yung last approach is the political economy approach. So politics and economy are never separate, entirely separate phenomena. Sabi nila, economics involves conflict over scarce resources, while politics generally involves decisions about who will pay and who will benefit from the production and distribution of products and services. Ayan, kaya they are mainly concerned with the economic status of that certain institution or society. Okay, so we have four. To recap, traditional, yung history, scientific, yung process, systems approach, yung functions, yung your executions, and then political economy approach sa economic status. Okay, dito na tayo sa practice task. So you need a paper and a pen for this one. What you need to do is just to match the words in column A and its appropriate definition in column B. Okay, so you can pause the video and then answer this. Okay, so I guess you're done. Let's check if you got this all correct. Number one, politica. The answer is letter C, affairs of the city. Number two, political issues. The answer is letter A, social controversy. Number three, strategic vision. The answer is letter E, a long-term perspective on good governance. Number four, informal politics. This is also letter D, everybody politics. And number five, equity. Letter D, it promotes social justice for all. Okay, practice task two for this. You need to read the words and then identify what component of politics is being referred to. Number one, Department of Education. Okay, ano yung sagot nyo? So this is political institution. So i-check nyo kung tama yung inyong sagot. Number two, Liberal Party. Ano siya? Political party. Okay, if you got it right, very good. So lagyan ng check ang papel. Ang number three is Reproductive Health Bill. Ano siya? Okay, if your answer is political issue, that is correct. Next is monarchy. Okay, kung ang answer niyo is political ideology, you are very good. Next is dictatorship. Okay, this is another form of political ideology. If you got it right, very good. Number six, Department of Agriculture. Ito ay political institution. Very good kung tama ang sagot. Seven, Department of Health. Another political institution. Number eight, political issue. War on drugs, sorry. War on drugs, and the answer is political issue. Very good. So, tama ang sagot. Number nine, press freedom. So, if your answer is political issue, you are correct. And last, Philippine Democratic Socialist Party. So, nandun na yung party sa kanyang word. So, this is political party. Kung naka-perfect ka, very good. Kung hindi, you can go through again the video. You can watch this video again. Or pwede rin namang basahin mo yung module na sinento sa ating PC. Practice task 3 is you need to identify the characteristics of good governance. Okay, ayan. So you can read this and then i-pause lang muna dito sa screen. Ayan at basahin and then sagutan sa inyong papel. Okay, so I assume na dahil kinontinue mo na yung video, tapos ka na ang sagutan, ang part na to. So number 1, ang sagot ay participation. Number 2, consensus orientation. Number 3, accountability. Number 4, effectiveness and efficiency. And number 5 is strategic vision. Okay, for post-test, isasabihin nyo kung ano yung i-identify nyo kung ano yung concept of politics being described. Okay, number 1. Political scientist experts make some use of history to study the chronology and the historical development of government structures and institutions. Ano yung sagot niya? The answer is historical or traditional approach. Number 2, all men and women should have a voice in decision making. Okay, ang sagot ay participation. Very good kung tama ang sagot. Number three, political institution is the basic social unit of the society. This should be family. So, number three, the answer is family. Number four, political science. Number four, this is the branch of social science that deals with the systems of government and the analysis of political activities and behavior. So the answer is political science. And number five, these are governmental and societal controversies debated over time, inclusive of divisive topics. So the answer is political issues. Okay, so that's it for our for lesson 3, which is about political science. So, what I need you to do, ito yung gagawin ninyo. Listen very carefully, ha. You need to study lesson 2, which is about sociology, and lesson 3, which is about political science. Next meeting, hindi ako hihingi ng output for this. Since sinagutan naman natin lahat yung practice task at saka yung uh, post-test na sagutan na natin. Very good kung na-perfect. Kung hindi pa, pwede nyo basahin yung module or ulitin nyo ulit yung video para maintindihan. So, ngayon, ang gagawin nyo is pag-aaralan nyo to kasi during our meeting next week, magkakaroon tayo ng graded recitation. So, kukuha ako ng mga questions mula sa lesson 2 at sa lesson 3. Tapos yun na yung magiging score nyo. Doon ako kukuha sa 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 score nyo para sa lesson 3 and 4 2 and 3 ng module 1. So, i-explain ko yung rubric during our meeting. So, if you have any question or clarification, don't hesitate to send me a message in Messenger, in chat room, or in my number. Okay? So, if there's something that you don't understand, just ask.